Hello and welcome to our new lesson in English for English learners in grade 7. I'm Sanya Bojinovic, your English teacher. Today's lesson is there an app for that? By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to understand the short text about mobile applications and you will be able to talk about apps. The equipment that you need for today's lesson is your notebook and your pen or pencil to write with, and your mobile phone, your tablet or your laptop with the internet connection. If you are ready, let's start. To start this lesson, we will think about what kind of activities we usually do with the help of mobile applications. My question is, have you used mobile applications for some activities that you do in your everyday life? What activities have you used mobile applications for? And you will start your sentences with I have used an app for, thinking about your experience. You can do it in two different ways. You can use your notebook and you can write sentences there. I have used an app for plus the activity. Or you can go to the answer card and you can find the QR code on the screen. You can scan it, or you can go to this number of the channel, Answer Garden channel 1156377. You will find a number of answers there already by other learners. Just add yours. I have asked you about your experience. What kind of activities have you used apps for? Your experience is a finished action. That's why it's important to use the present perfect. I have plus the verb. My first example was I have used, because we use the apps. The form. The auxiliary is have. It is after the subject here. You can see it. And then the verb use is a regular verb. That's why we just add the ending. Use, used. I have used an app for learning a foreign language. Or you can say I have visited a virtual world. I have checked the weather forecast. I have improved my language skills. The verb read here, the last example, is a bit different. Why? Because read is not regular. That's why you have to say I have read a book with the help of an app. I have been to a restaurant. I have booked a dinner at a restaurant. How different are these two? These two examples are the examples of irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are those that you have to learn by heart. Like, for example, read, read, read. Be was were, been. You have to learn the form. Regular verbs are easy. You just add d or ed ending to the verb. Now we know the form. Let's check. The subject plus have plus past participle. Why do we need it? Because we are looking at the finished action in the past from our position now. I have learned, I have used, I have done. That happened in the past, but we don't care, we don't know when, before now. The consequence, the result, my knowledge, my skill is here. Let's see what you've done with your sentences. The verbs were as on the screen, and if you haven't written your sentences, you can use my sentences now. I have used an app for booking a ticket. I have visited a virtual world. I have checked the weather forecast. I have improved my language skills. I have read many books and listened to some. I have been to a few good restaurants. These are some examples. You can write your own examples. You can copy these. You can add some more. The important thing is the form. I have the past participle of the verb. When? To talk about finished actions before now, we don't know when, your experience. Our main task today is to listen to a dialogue and to understand what these two boys are talking about. They will talk about some apps that they have used or some people that they know have used. While listening, you will answer the two questions on the screen and you will make notes about all the apps that they mention. The questions are, how many apps do they mention, and have you tried any of the apps that they mentioned? Do you know about them? And if you are working in front of your computer, you can use this link here, copy it into your browser so you can hear the dialogue once again. We will listen to it now together.
What is the weirdest app you have used?
Well, let me think. I haven't used it, but my cousin has tried an app that he calls Creepy But Cool. He says this one has really made him scratch his head. He has downloaded it because of a good rating.
And what does it do?
Absolutely nothing. When you launch it, you only see a blank screen and nothing happens. There is a free and a pro version.
What does the pro version offer?
Even more nothing. Weird, isn't it? I really don't understand the idea and the thought process behind it.
Perhaps some people who have downloaded it just want to try and see for themselves. Try to uncover the logic. Or maybe there is a truth in the old saying that there is a customer for every product.
I'm not a fan of those weird apps that some people think are also cool. I like maps to actually help me with something I really need.
Oh, and what is the most useful app you have downloaded?
There are two free apps I'm using at the moment, one to keep me safe and one to help me learn.
Oh, could you tell me more about them? What do they do?
The app that keeps me safe allows me to send an instant call for help to 6 friends, and I can do it with a touch of one button. The GPS tracker marks my location on my friends' devices, and they can find me easily in any emergency. It is free.
Oh, your circle of 6. That's cool. And the learning app?
That app is free too. It's called Wolfram Alpha. My friends who also use it describe it as Google on steroids because I can ask a question and it gives me an answer. The best thing is that it does not give me a list of documents and web pages where I can look it up, but it offers an answer. I can ask questions about measures, places, people, history, and geography. It can save a lot of time when you are doing some research for a homework in any subject.
That is cool. I'm downloading it right away. Both of them. I think I'll skip nothing for now.
So the boy is going to download 2 of the apps. And how many apps do they mention? They mention 3. And he's downloading, he says, 2 of them because they're useful. And the third is not so useful. Let's see. They mention these 3. Nothing, Circle of 6, and Wolfram Alpha. They say that if you launch nothing, it gives you just a blank screen. It's creepy and weird. There is a pro version, it gives you even more nothing. Nothing happens when you launch it. Circle of 6, with one button you can send an SMS or call to 6 of your friends. There's a GPS tracker that gives your friends your location. It's free and you can call for help in a case of an emergency. Wolfram Alpha is a kind of search engine, even better than Google, they say. These boys think so. It's a learning app because you can ask questions and get answers. It's also free. Now, before we go on and say more about these apps and some other apps, let's see if you understand the vocabulary that they have used in their dialogue. They are using the words to download, to launch, to be weird, to be creepy. There's a GPS tracker in one of the apps, and the first one, nothing, has made their cousin scratch his head. Why was he scratching his head? What does that mean? If you think you know all the words, you can try and match them on the screen. If you think you need more time to practice these words, you can use this link here, Free Apps 1. And it will take you to the word wall where you can practice matching, and you can turn this activity into a game. You can play with it until you learn the words. Here it is. GPS tracker is a navigation device which shows the location. To be creepy means to cause that unpleasant feeling. Can you imagine you download an app and it does nothing? Just a blank screen, nothing happens. A weird app is a very strange, unusual app. To download means to copy it into your mobile phone, into your computer, to launch, to start. And that cousin scratched his head because he didn't understand what was going on. He was trying to solve that puzzle, that problem. Your task number 1, you will get 2 tasks. You can choose or do both of them. The first one, choose one of these apps, or you can choose any app you like, you have used. It doesn't have to be one of these. Your task is to present about it. Say 5 or 6 sentences. Start with the information from the dialogue if you are talking about one of the apps from the dialogue. Say who has used it, how, name it. Then include some information about the app. In the dialogue, you have the information about why the app is good. You will also need some information about the drawbacks, about the negative sides, like for example if there are bugs, advertisements, if the support is not good, or something like that. So in the middle part, you say something about why that app is good and why that app is not so good. And you complete your talk. Your final part is the ranking of the app. You rank it. You can give it 1 star, 2 stars, up to 5 stars. You know how it goes. So this is your first task. You can pause the video and try now, or you can wait to hear what your task number 2 is. Your task number 2 is think of an activity which is hard, which you don't really like, or it's boring one. Then imagine that there is an app for that. Maybe there is. And that you have tried it. Maybe you have. And then describe how it's worked. Mention 1 or more positive sides and maybe some drawbacks that you have noticed, and then give that app 1 to 5 stars to rank its quality. So you can talk about the apps from the dialogue, you can choose an app that you have used, or you can invent a completely new app that you would like to be able to use, but it doesn't really exist. It's your choice. The important thing is that you practice English. How do you do it? First you plan. What are you going to say? Then if you don't have enough information, you can go back to the dialogue. You can go to the internet and search for some more information. You can try your app once again to check for some information. Then you practice. Practice saying your 5 to 6 sentences, and then you record your talk. You can use the voice recorder, or you can make a video. This rubric will help you. What are you aiming at? To the well done part of the rubric. So when you try and you finish your talk and then you listen to it, check. Have you described 2 or more positive and 2 or more negative qualities? Have you used far more new words? Have you used the present perfect? And have you created a talk and recorded it? If yes, well done for you. If you have done or you know how to do this task or one or these two tasks, I hope you will have fun working on them and that you will learn even more. Stay safe, learn English, and goodbye until our new lesson.